In February 1993, a tragedy unfolded that left an indelible mark on the world. A 2-year-old boy vanished from a crowded shopping center, only to be found days later in the most horrifying circumstances. The crime would not only devastate a family, but also leave a nation grappling with unanswerable questions. This is the story of James Bulger, a child whose life was cruelly taken, and the investigation that followed, revealing truths too chilling to forget. James Bulger was just 2 years old, a playful, curious child full of life. His mother, Denise Bulger, described him as her shadow, always by her side, eager to explore the world around him. On February 12, 1993, Denise decided to take James to the New Strand shopping center in Bootle, England. It was a typical day, filled with errands and small treats for her little boy. At one point, while Denise paid at a butcher's counter, James let go of her hand. It was only for a moment, but when she turned around, he was gone. At first, Denise thought James might have wandered off to look at toys or sweets, but as the minutes passed, her worry turned into panic. "Have you seen my son?" she asked shop assistants, customers, anyone who would listen. Little did she know that James had already left the shopping center, hand in hand with 2 strangers. Security cameras captured the heartbreaking moment. 2 young boys, barely older than 10, leading James out of the shopping center. The image brought a glimmer of hope. Maybe these boys were helping James find his way back. But as hours turned into days, that hope faded. The search for James was relentless. Police, volunteers, and community members combed the area, desperately calling out his name. Denise appeared on local news, pleading for help. "If you have my son, please bring him back." But 2 days later, the search came to a devastating end. James's body was found on a railway line. He had been brutally murdered. The discovery of James's body left detectives grappling with the unimaginable. Who could commit such a heinous crime? And why? The first major clue was the CCTV footage showing James with 2 young boys. Detectives enhanced the footage and released it to the public, hoping someone would recognize the pair. Tips flooded in, but none seemed to lead anywhere, until a woman recognized the boys in the footage. Her tip led police to Robert Thompson and John Venables, 2 local 10-year-olds. When officers brought Robert and John in for questioning, they faced 2 boys who seemed far too young to be capable of such violence. John cried during his interview, denying any involvement at first. Robert, however, was calm and composed, often deflecting questions or blaming John, but cracks in their stories soon began to show. Eventually, John broke down. "I killed James," he admitted, his words chilling investigators. The investigation revealed disturbing details. Witnesses had seen the boys walking with James, but no one intervened. Forensic evidence linked both boys to the crime scene. A bloody shoe print matched one of their shoes. The boys had brutally attacked James before leaving him on the railway tracks. The trial of Robert Thompson and John Venables shocked the world. The prosecution revealed the calculated nature of the crime. The boys had lured James away, inflicted unspeakable harm, and tried to cover their tracks. In court, the boys appeared small and fragile, a stark contrast to the brutality of their actions. The judge sentenced them to a minimum of 8 years, a decision that outraged the public. Many felt the punishment was far too lenient for such a horrific crime. For James's family, life would never be the same. Denise struggled with grief, often speaking about James as if he were still present. The case also left a lasting impact on the investigators. Many admitted it changed their views on childhood innocence and the darker sides of human behavior. Robert Thompson and John Venables were eventually released under new identities, a decision that continues to spark debate to this day. James Bulger's story is a heartbreaking reminder of how fragile life can be. His memory lives on, not just in the hearts of his family, but also as a call for greater vigilance and compassion in protecting our children.